Hi, welcome to O-Megaa. Mari's not here, but
I'm Ava.
I'm Evan.
I'm Gabriel.
and I'm Angel. And today we have a pretty full plate on our hands, if you ask me. So let's start things off. The topic that I was started to bring up about was mental health. That's a big thing that
Yeah.
a lot of people go through every day, like in school, like a job, just like in life in general. Like I know for me, like this year, like it hit harder more than anything, and like I think a lot of people, like for a lot of people, like they don't like necessarily believe in it until it hits them.
And like mental health is not like a thing. Mental is like, a thing, but mental health is a health, like, you know what I mean? Like mental health isn't its own thing. Like there's mental unhealthiness also, and like those are two different things, but they apply. Cause like mental health is the good part of it. You should have a good mental health. And I think I see a lot of jokes and like memes and stuff about like, oh, my mental health is subsiding. But like, how do you really keep a good mental health? Like, what do you guys do? Do you ever take mental health breaks? Like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
No.
like we were talking about, like some people like when like I know for me, like sometimes like during the school year, like I just couldn't like
Yeah.
I just couldn't get my brain like working and like wired like to get through the day. So I was like, I can't go to school. Like I don't think I'll function properly if I go to school. So I just stayed home, like just slept in, like, and that benefited me. Like
Mhm.
I didn't think it would, but it honestly really helped a lot. And like
Yeah.
that helps like some other people. I'm not saying like miss like every day, but I mean,
Yeah, no.
every once in a while I think it's very important just to like relax and just like take everything in.
And it's just not about like relaxing either. You can figure yourself out in those
Yeah.
moments. You can figure, maybe you don't know what's bothering you. Maybe you don't know what's making you anxious or stressed out. And you can really sit down, like align yourself and be like, okay, like what is it? Like, is it because like me and my friend are fighting? Is it because like I have a test due this Monday? Or like you can really figure yourself out. And maybe you can't, but at least you can, take a bath, maybe read a book, and take your mind off of
Yeah,
things.
and it could really be anything, It
Yeah.
could be like the littlest of things, like to the biggest of things. But I want just like everyone to know that it's okay to go
Yeah.
through things like that. Like it's okay to feel
Everybody
like
does.
that.
Everybody.
Like
at some point
nowadays,
does.
the norm, like for a lot of people, is to like shut those feelings down. Like the people will tell you all the time that you can't feel like that. Like
Yeah.
it's like for guys, it's not like
It's not-
you're not masculine. Like
Yeah, like we can't cry or anything.
yeah, exactly. But like if I'm being real, like I can't even tell you the amount of times like the past week where I've just like broken down and just like over the littlest of things, and like I don't do that intentionally. Like
Yeah, it's
I
not a
try to
purpose.
keep it in.
I can't
like
I break down when like I talk.
Absolutely can't anymore.
No, it's like I have to like talk to someone about it. Then
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
then
good,
I
like-
break in.
You
break
ever have
down.
Like,
you ever
that's
have
good
that
habits, I
moment
think.
where like you ever have that moment where you're like just down in the dumps and then someone's like, are you okay? And that just alone, it just brings you down. You're
Yeah.
like, oh shoot,
Like
am I?
like sometimes you just like need someone to tell you like, are you okay? And,
They're like, dude, are you okay? You just start crying.
Because like you can look okay on the outside, but like you don't know what's like you're the only person that knows what's going through your head.
I always say like make sure your friends are okay, but before your friends, make sure you are okay. I think that's a really important thing. Like make sure you're okay, because it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to cry and just feel bad about some things, but you need to try to move away from that. You need to, even if it's like a baby step at a time, or maybe you leap into it, like you have to make sure you're okay.
yeah, it's okay to not be okay. Like we all go through stuff in life. Like I was saying, like no matter what it is, it's okay to not be or not feel.
Yeah,
okay.
you're gonna go through it. Like at some point, like even the jolliest of people, they go through something. Like you see it in Christmas movies. Santa Claus is always having a breakdown. Like
Yeah.
everybody goes through it. Everybody's gonna go
And
through
like
it.
and then like now like I know this just by like being like a huge sports fan. Like this year is more specifically like there's a bunch of athletes who are making the movement and like actually like taking initiative in like mental health. Like I know if you want to get technical, LeBron James, Kevin Love. Those are two like very like big basketball players, and they during the summer and like even during their basketball season, they sat down and they made it a point to tell kids and everyone else that was willing to listen that it's okay to feel not okay. Like
Yeah, like, cause it's always gonna happen, you know, like things in life are stressful, and you're probably not gonna know what it is. Like,
yeah.
we were talking to Oscar about it, and there's a lot of pressure on young people as well as like older people. There's always gonna be pressures on you, and sometimes you're not gonna know what it is. Sometimes it's like the impending doom that you're gonna grow up and you're gonna have to start paying bills in like 2 years. You know, you're gonna move out, you're gonna pay for college. That's scary, and it's okay to be scared by it. Like, it's not just like, oh yeah, no, it's coming. Like, I'm fine with it. No, I'm scared. Like, I'm legitimately scared.
Like those feelings are valid, and people all the time tell you that they aren't, but in reality they are. Like life hits you hard and fast.
Yeah.
It can come out of literally nowhere.
What do you guys think? Like,
We have different opinions, okay? So, in a sense, like, how do I put it? I do keep it in, okay? Like, but at the same time, I kind of don't, depending on who I'm with. Like here at school, I do keep it in because, you know, there's.
yeah, obviously, it's a public place. You're probably gonna be ashamed if you
No,
cry.
it's not because of that. It's because I don't really trust many people here.
Yeah,
That's a
So,
public.
like,
yeah, that's valid. Like, keep going.
But like when I'm at home, like I kind of, I don't cry there either because, you know, my stepdad like will get mad at me for some reason. So like now I kind of just don't even.
Try not to. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I know like for me and like Beth was helping me too. She's been helping a lot. Like a lot of people like get confused with like depression or like anything with just like sadness. But in reality, it's not just sadness.
I
It's
hear
like,
so many people
Depression
that are like.
is like, I always see those commercials for like like the depression,
That's
but like
like
it's like it's like a ton of things like tiredness on
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you don't want to do anything.
It's
There's,
not just
there's a
feelings.
lot of layers to it, and I hear a lot of people being like, oh, my anxiety is rising up. Like, no, dude, you're just getting anxious. Like, anxiousness doesn't equal anxiety. Anxiety is like a chronic thing. Like, anxiety doesn't allow you to get up in the middle of class to throw away an apple because you are shaking, because what if people stare at you? That is anxiety. And there's more layers. It's different for anybody. But if you get anxious about a paper that's due tomorrow, that's not anxiety. Or
You're just
if-
nervous.
Yeah, you're just nervous. You're just
I was gonna
anxious.
say stress, but.
Yeah, maybe stress
Yeah,
too.
that goes
But
into it too.
it's not anxiety, you know? Like, to really know what's going on, you could see like a professional, you know? And some people, most people don't have like the means to do it, but you can't just go around self-diagnosing.
Yeah, and then I know like especially like this year, like a lot, like you get a lot of that help. Like for me, like I didn't really like me and my family, we didn't really have like everything, like to get like someone fantastic, you know. But like they give you like people want to help, and that helped a lot with me. Like I got diagnosed, like they're helping me, and then a lot of people this year have been asking me because like I'm not like doing like some stuff that I used to do, and it's because of that, and
Yeah.
like we like because people think of it differently, and if I'm being real, I didn't want people to judge me or anything. Like I had to tell them like different reasons,
Yeah.
like so they won't like tell me, you know. But like in reality, like this is what I'm going through. Like every day, this is something people go through.
Yeah, and I remember talking, and it was like a thing where people are just like, oh, I feel depressed, and it's like they drop like their ice cream and they're like, oh, I'm depressed, like I'm emo, and it was like a thing that actually hurts people that are going through it because they don't feel valid about it anymore. They're like, oh, well, if that makes you depressed, what I'm going through must not be valid, you know?
Yeah, that's
And it's like,
exactly.
that's if a lot of people feel that way, and I think it's more about awareness, you know? Like, yeah, it's a joke, but don't joke about it so often or so much because like it
And then
affects people. for
some
real.
people like go around like bragging like about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like if that's how like it helps you, like okay, but like, I feel like the main issue is like I don't necessarily like believe it. Like they'll go like, hey, like I'm feeling very like depressed today. Like, do you want to know why? Like, I dropped my pencil. Like,
A lot of people just love romanticizing it. You know what I mean? They
Um,
just love it, and it's like,
like
They call it
dude,
attention addict.
yeah,
yeah, they just like
attention seekers for sure. And it's like some people aren't maybe like looking for attention, but the ones that are, like, it's wrong. Like, it's really wrong. Like, don't do that. Like, I'm telling you right now, don't do that. Please don't do that.
That will just make them like, if you do that, then like everyone's gonna think like, oh no, you're just an attention seeker. Just don't
Yeah.
listen to them.
And like, you acting fake depressed, like, my
That really drops your level really bad.
yeah, and that might make somebody that's actually going through it feel the effects more, you know, because they're like, oh shit, like, maybe I'm overreacting, like, they're going through it worse,
yeah, like
and they might not even be going through it, you
like
know.
I know for like me, like I it just like hurts, like, you know, 'cause like you said, like people like romanticize it, like people like try and make a big deal about it, and like I'm like, oh, like I feel bad because like my mind's like, oh, if they're like going through this, like what I'm going through is like not nearly as bad, so I try to like
Push
try-
it.
push it away, you
Yeah.
know, but then like that's when you were like, hey, like they're in the wrong for it,
Yeah.
like not you, like what you're feeling is actually valid.
And it, like I said, it's different for everybody, and like when when I would go through it, like, I can all day I can tell other people like, hey, like, your feelings are valid, like, it's okay to cry, like, it's okay to not be okay. But when I went through it, I was like, nah, like, this is weak stuff, you know. Like, I would be like, no, you can't do that. Like, I would cry, and then I'd be like, wait, stop. Like, I would make myself stop, and it was like very unhealthy. And I would just like, I started like working out, and like, I think it was more to take out my anger. Like, my dad bought this punching bag, and I would punch it like for hours, and like, I wasn't punching walls, but like, it was a really unhealthy way for me to cope. Like, yeah, I was getting like my workout in or whatever, but I was really just punching a bag. Like, I wasn't dealing with my emotions, I wasn't processing anything. I was doing the work that was stressing me out. I was punching a bag outside in the cold. Like, that's not the way to deal with it. And I went through that for months until I finally was like, okay, you know what? Like, deal with it. Like, stop actually being like weak sauce. Like,
Since you like went through it and experienced it, like what would you like tell other people that are going through that, like ways of like not necessarily like fixing it, but like going through it, you know?
ask for help. Like, last year I met, like, I didn't meet them, like, I already knew them, but I was just like, I became friends with like Angel and like a few other friends, and they were very helpful. Like, just like, ask for help. Like, I know it can be maybe like a little bit embarrassing in a way, or just like, it can be really like humbling, like a really humbling experience, but it'll save you so much. Like, because the things you might not be able to talk about with your parents, you might be able to talk about with your friends. And it's just like, it helped me so much. Like, it saved me, and it might save you, you know? So I think, like, that's a huge thing. Like, ask for help. If you need it, the way you ask for help in a math problem, you have to ask for help in life, because you don't know anything, and neither do I, and neither does anybody in here, but they might know a little bit, and that might help. Like, you ask for help. Like,
Do you guys have anything to say about like ways for like people to like cope with it, if you agree with anything we're saying?
A way to actually help is what Megaa said, find some help. But even if you can't find anyone if you feel like you can't find anyone that will listen to you or understand what you're going through, honestly, I would say get into like a room you feel comfortable with, and just sit there, try to relax. I say meditate because that's what I do sometimes,
oh, yeah, meditation helped me a lot for sure.
or go see like I say a therapist.
Yeah. And what's it called? I was gonna say, like, what really made me realize, like, oh, hey, mom, like, I need help, is that I would. It's different for everybody. Like Angel, like for example, you didn't want to like be in sports anymore, right? Like you didn't want to go through with it. I would stress eat. Like I would stress eat so much. Like I gained so much weight, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I did it excessively. Like every time I would get sad, I would find myself like just eating, and like even to this day, it's kind of like a little problem that I still do. Like I'll get sad and I'll be like, let's go buy ice cream or something like that. But and that's what I found myself doing a lot. Like I would maybe like get a 70 on a test that I was sure I would pass, and then I would just be like, oh, you know what? Like I'm gonna go buy some chips, and then I would just find myself stress eating, and that's like a thing that I've tried to stop. Like that like I slowly try to stop. Like those are like problems that you'll notice yourself doing different things. Like it's different for everybody. Like I've been saying.
Yeah, like you said, like for me, like my friend group and like in our grade, like a lot of people, like when you think of me, they think of like cross country, like me being a runner, you know. But like with people like don't really understand is like this year, like I lost that, you know, like I lost all love for it. Like there was a time where I didn't show up for, I think it was like 3 weeks, and like no one heard from me. Like I honestly didn't even hear from myself, if that makes sense. But like that's like the side people don't hear, and like I just had to make up excuses as to why. And at the time I didn't even know why, but then I slowly like started accepting the fact that something was going on. But like right now, the way how I'm trying to get through it, like I'm trying to run again because that's something that I did love, you know. That's like, and I've learned from other people that that's something you just can't give up. Like if you really love something, that you have to like try your best to hold on to it. Like it brought so many memories for me, and that's something like I'm not willing like to just give up. And like like it's been really hard, but like some days like I feel really motivated to do it, and then the next like 3 weeks, like it's extended period of time, I'll just not feel like doing it at all. But like I have to get through it, like, and I'm not gonna force myself to do anything because like what I'm feeling at this point is valid.
Yeah, and it's gonna be hard. Like it's gonna be a journey. It's not gonna like be solved in like 3 weeks. Like it's gonna take a while. Like it's been like a few years for me. Like last year was the worst. Like I'll admit that. Like last year was the worst. But like it's gonna be a journey. And it's gonna get better. Like right now, I think I'm in such a good place. Like than I was like 5-6 months ago. Like I'm in such a good place, and like just if you're looking for help, like do it. Like I encourage you the most. Like just go ahead and look for help. And if you're gonna punch a bag, you better wrap your hands because oh my god, my knuckles are so ugly now. Just make sure you get help. That's like a good thing.
That's great advice. Gabriel, do you have anything to add or put into it?
Honestly, like, honestly, for me, it's like just find someone to talk to about it. Like, if you got problems, just find someone to.
Do you have anyone specific you go to? I used to go to my ducks. Like when there was something like I felt like I couldn't tell my friends. Like I would go and talk to my ducks.
I know this sounds like a little kind of like cliche, but like I've made really good friends online.
Yeah,
I've met people like
honestly,
my age online, and like I can talk to them about anything.
Yeah.
Like I talk about them, and like they it's nice.
Yeah.
Can I
Be
ask
safe
you a question?
online, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, do you know them like as like for like personally, like they go here, or like you know them from like other towns, or like is it like somewhere like across like?
I do remember meeting kids from Fort Stockton.
Yeah.
Like I met them, we chatted for a bit, but like it's been like it's other people like from like some of my friends that I know are like from New York, and we've known each other like we've chatted, and like we became close. Like we're close as heck, but like yeah, like when I need someone to talk to, like I just talk to them.
Yeah, like I think I've heard like a lot that sometimes talking to people like you don't necessarily like know, like it helps because like there's no like attachment.
Yeah.
You know, because like like
They're
they,
really
Like
not
they're just
gonna
gonna
judge
give you like
yeah,
an
like
honest.
you don't really know them and they don't really know you, so like there's no harm. But like of course you gotta be safe with
Yeah.
that. But like I think that does help, and like you said, like it helped you. Like that's really valid. Do you have anything else to say about it? And anything else?
Not really, not that much. Just that, like, find someone to talk to you about it. 'Cause like you never know, they might offer you some like help, like I don't know, like for me, and I don't know if y'all might not like agree, but like I feel like today it's easier to make friends online than it would be in your like town or something.
Yeah,
I get that, yeah, no.
completely.
Because like online you can find so many, like you can find many people
You
who,
can,
who
like-
like have the same interests as you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can narrow
exactly.
them down. You know what I mean?
Like
They'll be
you-
in the same communities.
And like here in school, like there's a lot of different groups, like
Yeah.
stereotypes. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of there's a lot of different groups, and like they're open like to just like come at you and like clash with your interests and ideas.
Mhm.
Like sometimes that just adds on to more of the pressure, you know.
Yeah.
I like it's crazy how much stereotypes there is here. You know what I mean? Because I remember a few days ago someone came up to me and then they didn't come up to me, but they were like talking about how they could never talk to me because I'm like one of the popular girls, and I was like, what? Like I don't like maybe I am, like maybe people do know me, but I didn't think that I was like a mean girl. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I didn't think that I was like
You didn't think you were known for that.
yeah, like I was like wow, like
Like,
they were like yeah, no, you're
and that's one part of mental health too, is the stereotypes. Like
yeah.
when you go to like a school like ours, you get stereotyped hard.
Yes.
And again, for me, I'm known as the kid who just plays games and does nothing else.
Yeah, and there's
And,
more
like-
substance to people than that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like you're telling me that a lot of people like tell you that I'm very intimidating.
Yeah, no, for real. Like a lot of there's like little freshmen that will be in my classes, and then like there was this one in particular that once she knew that me and Angel were a couple, he stopped talking to me. Like he was just like, no, like he saw me and Angel together, and he never spoke to me again. And like a lot of like there was this one dude who also said like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna say his name, but he doesn't talk to you anymore because he thinks your boyfriend's scary. And I was like, oh, like
Yeah, I remember-
really?
I remember her telling me that, and like that kind of like hurt like me a little bit too, 'cause like about me, I've never wanted to like have people.
Scary, yeah.
I've never wanted like people to feel that way towards me. You know, I've always wanted people to like to know like I'm always like I might be a little rude, but like I'm joking. Like that's how I
Mhm.
joke. Like y'all know it like behind the scenes and everything. Like I like joking around with everyone, but like.
I'll joke back.
Yeah, and like y'all will joke back with me, you know, we'll just keep it going, but like that kind of like hurt like me, like a little bit knowing that that's how people kind of like see me, like
Yeah,
as
it's always-
intimidating.
And they always like they call us like the smart kids. Like that's always been a thing. Like since we got into the honors classes and like the college classes, like that's always been a thing.
I've been called that too, but
And like that's like
Yeah,
okay, like that's
more
not
people.
that much of a like, you know, like an insult. Like I'm like okay, yeah, I do feel smart. Like I
used
feel
to
like a
be-
smart person.
I used to be called the smart one.
But, like,
now no more.
but-
And then over time, people just like add on to it, like the smart kids, like the nerd kids, like the kids that act smart. And like it's just like whoa. I used
That's
to
what-
first I was your friend, and now I'm like the kid that acts smart. Like what's going on?
Those are the same people who won't hesitate to come for us for help. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like stereotypes do put a lot of pressure on you because now, like, do you feel like because you used to be called a smart kid that now you're not like at your full potential?
Actually, no. I feel a lot more like relaxed because
Really?
of that.
Cause like I used to like I was one of those like what you would call a prodigy kid. Like I remember being called that. Like I started reading at 3 years old. Like I started walking at 10 months old. Like I started talking at 1 year old. Like I was just like I was like a fast kid.
You were ahead of.
Yeah. And when I got into kindergarten, like I could read, I could count to 20, like maybe 20, I don't know. Like I could count, I could read, I was speaking 2 languages, like people were just like, this is the kid. And then once I hit middle school, high school, it was just like,
They
wait,
crashed.
are you smart? And it hurt
Yeah,
bad.
it's definitely mental health is definitely something that everyone goes through, and that we need to, as everyone, like come together and like help people who need it. But unfortunately for today, that's our time. Thank y'all for watching. We really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow with a new topic. And this is the O-Megaa team signing off.
See ya.